Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. We're certainly glad to have you today. And as always, we're thankful for BTC Fiber for sponsoring our program. And you can see these interviews on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as Cable Channel 18. We'd also like to thank Needful Things General Store on Highway 127, just past the Bethel Church of Christ, for sponsoring our program as well. Go by there and check them out. You might find something you need, you might find something you don't need, but just want it anyway. So go by and check them out. And today we have with us Laura Jones, and she's with the Dunlap Farmers Market. I'll make sure I had that right.
Yes, sir.
And first of all, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and for inviting me to promote the market.
Well, now this is the second or third year?
Third year in full, second year that I've been involved.
Yeah. And let's, when this was started, I know Miss Janice here at the Chamber started it.
Yes, sir.
And what was behind all that? Do you know why it got started?
Well, I think it's something that the community wanted, and also, if I understand correctly, Janice would be able to confirm this. The city was given a grant to build the pavilion at Harris Park with the idea of holding a farmer's market there.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I know since its inception, it has really grown with vendors.
Yes, I have been really pleased to see the growth over the past. Last season in particular, I've been delighted to see not just the growth in vendors, but the community response as well. And I was really delighted to see last year in particular, it became kind of a social gathering place. We're at the park with the splash pad, which will be opening later this month, and the lawn. So families can come out and shop and let their kids play, and it just became a place for people to visit and mingle, and it was beautiful to see that. And
I noticed a lot of the vendors, they even though they may not have known each other before this started, they come to know each other and they associate with each other.
There's a community among the vendors as well, so it's become a good network.
And not only, originally when you think of farmers market, you think of produce and things like that, but there's been other vendors of different types there.
Right. We are happy to include some artisans in the market as well. We had some faithful ones last year, Pacific Star Leather, a few vendors with hand-sewn items, Miss Dot Barnes, some that do woodworking, some new ones this year. We have a vendor that does some beautifully handcrafted pottery, some body care products like lotions and soaps. So yeah, we've got a good selection of artisan vendors as well.
Well, that's the one thing that I know my wife and I, when we've been there, we've liked, because you get into, like you said, the soaps and things, which are different, and they're more becoming. They're getting more and more popular.
Right.
And then I noticed the pottery the other day, and that was really pretty.
Yes, she has some beautiful things.
Yeah, and a lot of those now. Is there a limit on who can come to the market?
So we ask that vendors be local, either locally grown or locally produced items. So all of our vendors, they live locally and they produce the things themselves. We really want to support the idea of local. So our local growers, so everything that you buy at the market has been grown locally or handmade by someone who lives locally. And we also have a honey vendor who's new this year.
Yeah, and I noticed you've had some honey vendors in the past, and that's kind of neat. A lot of people, of course, honey's too sweet for me for my diabetes. I can't get it, but I like it. But I just have to be careful.
Right, moderation.
But then I've noticed there's been a variety of things like cookies and cakes and lemonade, the different drinks. Then there's been eggs and homegrown poultry that have been and meats and things of that nature.
Yep, Pito Farms has pasture-raised poultry, and we've got a few vendors who do baked goods. Gigi Sweet Stop with her famous sourdough bread, and Byler's Farm and Bakery. They'll have a great selection of produce all summer long, and this month they'll have strawberries at the market, and they do some baked goods as well. And our farm will have blueberries in June, so a great selection of stuff all summer long.
I'll have to take less money each time I go, because if I take too much, I'll spend too much.
Yeah, it's easy to do that.
But everything when you go to, it's kind of hard to pick and choose. we like to go around to all the vendors first and see what's there,
See
and then
what's
go back. Well, which one do we like the most that we want to take home?
Yep, and it's hard to narrow that down. There's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of the things are different. I mean,
Mhm.
they're different from what you normally see, and you don't see them at the grocery store.
Exactly.
And this is an opportunity to buy, like you said, buy locally and help local vendors,
Mhm,
not
absolutely.
a chain or something like that.
Right.
And I know this goes from, what, 8 to 12? Is that the hours?
8 to 12 every Saturday. We will run every Saturday through the end of October, and then we're planning for a couple of holiday markets in November and December.
Well, I know you did that last year, didn't you?
Mhm.
And that turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It was good and neat, especially for our artisan vendors. An opportunity for them to do holiday sales.
Yeah.
Great gift opportunities.
Well, I also noticed that the last time we went, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, you had vendors that had to have tents outside the.
Mhm. Yeah, the market is growing. We have a list of 24 vendors right now, and I'm sure it's still a little early for a lot of produce, but as more produce comes in, I'm sure we'll be expanding more and more into the grass. So,
Well, and that's a good thing.
yes, it is.
I mean, that's great. I know years ago they tried to do a small version of a farmer's market, and it just never did pick up. I don't know if it wasn't pushed enough, but it just never did. But this is working out now. Everybody has a place to go to,
Mhm.
and like you said, that they can bring their family. The kids can play at the splash pad or in the park. And
Yeah, it's a great location for it. It really is.
yeah, I like it. It's right here in downtown Dunlap. You know, it's
Mhm.
just right here. And you know, if you're going to be out on a Saturday, most people are anyway. They whether it's at a ball game or with your kids or something else, you can just drive by.
Right, and it's a great central location. That way you can hit other shops downtown when you're out shopping too, the local depot or the mercantile, some of the other local businesses all right there together.
And I think my wife and I, we've done that as well. We've gone by and shopped there at the market, and then we said, well, we need something to eat. Let's go down here, you
Mhm.
know, and some of the local places. And that's the neat thing about it. Now, your farm, and I'll push your farm a little bit. You do primarily blueberries, but you do flowers and other things, right?
Yes, blueberries is our main crop. We have a half-acre in production right now, and have planted another 1.5 acres. And so once they're in full production, we plan to open the farm for pick your own. But we do cut flowers as well, and this summer we'll have the farm open for cut your own flowers.
Okay.
Hopefully by July we'll have some blooming. But at the market we'll have some cut flowers for sale, as well as some other produce along with the blueberries.
And give them the name of the farm.
Oh, Stone Creek Farm.
Yeah. I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, it's been a great privilege. It's been a family farm for generations, and so it's been a great privilege and a blessing for my husband and I to be there and continue to steward that land.
Well, I know every time I've driven down that way, I'll always look, and I see something new all the time y'all are doing.
Yes, it's an ongoing work in progress.
Well, that's really neat. And like you say, blueberries, you don't see that as much around as local markets as you do like the strawberries. I mean, I know that's popular around here with the Strawberry Festival and everything in Dayton, but the blueberries are more common now.
Yeah, there have been a couple other local farms, and for us in particular, some of my childhood memories are coming to pick blueberries. My grandparents had a small blueberry patch out at the farm, and I have very fond childhood memories of coming to pick blueberries there, so that was sort of the inspiration for turning it into a business.
You know, I used to not like blueberries and blackberries and things, and then I had to get more healthy on my diet. And so I thought, well, I'm going to try them and see. And I liked them, and it wasn't like I thought. I guess I had some childhood memories of, I don't like that. You know? But I like it now, and it is a healthy option.
Absolutely, lots of packed with antioxidants.
And people need to understand that. Don't just reject it because of past memories like I was doing, but when it's good for your health, and of course maybe the sourdough bread maybe, but I like sourdough bread.
Oh, and hers is excellent.
Yes it is. And that's the neat thing I found about all your vendors down there. They're all sweet people, they're all nice, and you can tell they put their love in their products.
Absolutely, they absolutely do, and it's been neat to see a lot of people just sharing their passion for whatever their craft is, whether it's farming or producing an artisan craft. There's a lot of skill and talent here.
And a lot of people need to understand too, and I try to understand. Of course, I'm around more now, out and about, but people need to understand when they look at something and say, "Oh, it costs that much." They need to look at the time and the money that's put into those products, because just the feed and the seed and whatever products cost. It costs more now anyway.
Yes, you're exactly right. People don't realize the amount of time and expertise that
Right.
goes into whether it's producing something from your farm or producing a craft. So you're paying for their level of expertise and the years that they've spent training and the hours they put into it that you may not see as a consumer.
Right, like you mentioned the pottery a while ago. Some people don't realize the time it takes just for one pot.
Right.
Whether it be a small one or a large one, it takes time.
It absolutely does, yeah.
And so when you put in time, just like if you were on a job, you'd expect to get paid on your hourly basis.
Mm-hmm.
So pay them.
Yeah. They're worth that price tag. They absolutely
They certainly are. And the woodworking. We bought some woodworking products down there, and is it D&I?
D&T Designs.
D&T, not
Yep.
D&I. And they do a great job.
Yes, they do.
As a matter of fact, all your vendors, even you had the Mennonites there.
The Byler family.
Yeah, and their stuff is really good.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they've got top quality produce, and they provide baked goods as well.
Yeah, and that's the neat thing about it's just everybody. And if we spent more of our time locally, we wouldn't have to worry about whether there's a shortage or not.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Sustainability and having a good local economy.
Well, and then I've noticed too there were eggs, duck eggs, and I think there was some goose eggs. Maybe one time. Was it?
Yeah, Pito Farms has duck and goose and chicken, and we've got a couple of other vendors. Mountaintop Farm has a good selection of eggs as well.
And so that's kind of neat, because a lot of times now, of course, if you're not careful, some places in other states I've heard were selling eggs for like $8 and $9 a dozen, and I'm thinking, wow, I guess I'll quit eating eggs.
Yeah, they have definitely increased in price. I don't think that any at the market are that expensive.
No, and that's the neat thing is I think most of these people here would really try to work with people. They don't try to make it a high price.
No, nobody's trying to price gouge.
No, and they're just out there. They enjoy what they do. Some have other jobs and they do this part-time.
Most have other jobs and do this part-time. Most of our vendors do this as a side thing because they love it.
When you think about that, when they finish their job, they may be really tired, but they need to go out to their shop or whatever they do, or out in the field in your case.
Yep.
And put in another 2 or 3 hours or more.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
And now with the summer hours being longer, the daylight being hour, you might spend
work later.
Yeah, you sure do. And but that's really neat, and I'm glad Dunlap has that opportunity for people to come.
Yeah, I've been really excited to see the growth of the market and hope to see it continue to grow.
Well, and as we mentioned too, there's been things like jewelry and things, other vendors, not just necessarily the produce.
Right. We have a couple of vendors that produce some really neat custom jewelry and journals and art crafts. We have one that uses dried florals to make wreaths and things, so some really beautiful crafts.
Well, I noticed those, of course I write, and I use journals all the time. And I saw those the other day, those journals, and I thought, wow, that's creative.
Yes, very creative. I've been amazed by the creativity of some of our vendors.
Yeah, because you go there and you think, I've never thought about that. And you think, well, that's neat, I've never seen that.
Yep, a lot of unique things.
And of course, if you go to places like, like in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, and you'll see pottery places and things like that. But nothing like we have.
And here you get to meet the one who created it, and hear about their passion for it, hear how they do their craft. So it's neat to get that face to face with whoever is creating or growing the products at the market.
Well, I know one time it was in Pigeon Forge, and we went into one of the pottery outlets, and I looked at a cup, and I don't know why I did, but I touched it and it wasn't dry.
Oh.
So my thumbprint was in that cup. So
You left
I made
your
sure,
mark.
yeah, I left real quick. I made sure no one. But you know, when you think about that, there I know the ceramic place here, Small Town Ceramics, and see the craft and the work that they do. Now they've got stuff that doesn't need to be dried. Now they've got some new things, and but so many things. And then there's I think you had some at one time some people that did some artwork and some.
Local photography, Mike Madalena. Yep, and I think he's returning as a vendor this year. But yeah, some local artists and photographers.
Yeah, and he's been pretty busy. He's been in Florida, I know, and then he's at the art show here with Valley Fest.
Yep.
And I need to go over there today. I meant to go last night. I
Yeah,
forgot.
it's happening this weekend.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great. And probably maybe even some of these same vendors may be at Valley Fest.
Yes, I think so. I think Ada Creek Pottery will have some of her lanterns on display at the art show, and like you said, I think Mike's there. So.
Well, those lanterns are pretty neat.
Oh, they're beautiful.
When I saw those, I thought, man, who can come up with? I'm not that creative. I can write. I can create writing.
Yeah, creativity comes in all different forms.
Yeah, but then when you see all the various things that people do, and even like. With the jellies, and that I think last year we bought some jelly from one of the vendors. I can't remember. It was a cherry jelly.
That could have been Mountaintop Farm.
I believe it was.
Yes, and they've got one this spring. It's Forsythia flower jelly. So they've come up with a lot of unique items.
Yeah, they're different. You think, well, who would have thought of that?
Yep.
But only those local people that work with that and put those ingredients together. It takes someone to put that together.
Right.
And well, like I said, the creativity of all those things. I mean, I'm just not that way. I can write. But
all different forms of creativity.
Well, what most do you like about the market?
Well, I think, like I mentioned before, watching it become a social gathering place where people can visit and mingle, and just the network among the vendors as well, and just seeing the talent and creativity here in the Valley, and seeing the what we do have available, both grown and made locally. So it's been neat to see that community build.
Well, I noticed I'm promoting some of them that I remember, but like Gina with Pacific Leather.
Yes.
When I look at her stuff, I think, man, all I want is a belt. And you've got all this stuff, it's really creative what she does.
Yes, absolutely.
And, her and her husband both really creative in what they do.
Yeah.
And they have that right there at their own shop.
Right.
And we've had them on here before, and they do a great job.
They do.
And well, I'm just pleased that this is going on, and I appreciate you being with us today.
Absolutely.
Now, is there anything we haven't talked about you want to bring up? We mentioned that you go until the fall.
Yes, through October, every Saturday at Harris Park from 8 to 12. We would, we are still accepting vendor applications. We would love to see more farmers and gardeners too. We've got several that are coming in as the produce comes in, but we'd love to see, more produce available at the market as well. You can pick up applications at the Chamber of Commerce, or you can look on the market's Facebook page, just Dunlap Farmers Market, or email. You can email me at stonecreekblueberries@gmail.com, and we're still accepting applications.
Good. That was a thing I forgot to ask you about. How do people get in contact with you? But you've now answered that.
Yep.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you being with me today, Laura. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it very much.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to push it because it's a great thing to have.
Yes,
and
it's
I
been
believe
great.
it builds up the community, and even those who may not be familiar with all that, they need to go by and just, if nothing else, just go by and look.
Absolutely. Yes.
And just look at the things and go, that's pretty neat.
Yes.
And then come back.
Yep.
Well, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
And again, folks, you can see this interview on BTC Fiber's YouTube page, as well as BTC Fiber's cable channel 18. And don't forget, Needful Things General Store on Highway 127. Go by and see them. So until next time, have a great day. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.